Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. Welcome back.
So, guys, we did two exclusives over on Patreon. Again, you have this one we did late last night. That was a transmission from the Lyrans, all about Comet Atlas and all those other, objects that are with Comet Atlas and other things happening. And then this one we just did talking about the big statements that came out yesterday. Oh, it was a big, big day. And we also had this big event. How big do you think this drone is in Copenhagen? Shut down an airport. Looks absolutely huge. Yeah, yesterday was a busy day over there. Special police operation underway in Denmark reports a strange large drones over multiple military bases. The same drones subsequently shut down Copenhagen airport, leading to widespread flight disruptions. As you can see some of these tweets, there are still unidentified drones around Copenhagen airport. No plane can take off or land. Incoming flights being diverted to other airports, and departing flights are delayed or canceled. Passengers asked to check, cph.dk or with the airlines. Oh, interesting times. As you could see, again, unidentified drones. Whose drones, I wonder? Here's some images people have enhanced, trying to get a closer look. I mean, we had the whole drone fiasco over here in the U.S. That was last year. And now we have it over here. And it wasn't just Copenhagen, by the way. Other places in Norway, Sweden as well. So kind of all the Nordic countries having issues. A flight ban had been imposed on Copenhagen Airport. Air alert sounded in Norway. Swedish Minister of Defense said there's an order to shoot down Russian fighters that violate the country's airspace. Is this the Russians, or is this some sort of ETs, interdimensional beings? They look pretty solid. They don't look extremely advanced. In fact, they, again, remind us of military equipment that we might possess. And again, part of the big realization for people is our military, United States military, for instance, has worked with non-human beings for a very long time. And, it's in fact been mentioned again that the Nazis of World War II era Germany worked with Greys and very, very Nordic Pleiadian-looking beings, and in fact were leading, the Axis was leading the Allies when it came to technology initially. Is it all just one big ultra-terrestrial affair?
I don't know, but you look at that, and it did cross my mind when we were making this video just now that those drones could very well be stopping some type of a thing going on, a problem with the planes. I don't know. I just picked it up. It was really, really kind of strange how it came through, that information. Like they were protecting someone or protecting an incident, keeping it from happening. So we'll have to keep an eye on that.
There's been many instances of, something going over, some unidentified object going over a military base, shutting it down, shutting down certain technologies. Again, many people have received the information that higher, more benevolent beings will not allow a nuclear conflagration on the planet. And so, at the same time, they don't want to interfere with karma, but at the same time, most of humanity is clueless because they've been purposely lied to and kept in the dark.
A lot, yes.
A lot, yeah. Here you have a lot of disclosure going on. James Webb Space Telescope discovers 300 mysteriously luminescent objects at the edge of space-time. Again, we live in one cell, one single cell. And this is also repeated in other densities. Life abounds. There are an infinite number of consciousness is at play, and at play, yes. And at the same time, there's one ultimate consciousness. Now, this is making its rounds. Elderly couple shared photos of strange blue alien beings they saw deep in the forests of Brazil. They called them blue guardians. They also said there's mysterious shadow beings that live high up in the trees. Now, what do we have? We have this usual thing here. Readers added context that they thought people might want to know. The first picture is from iStock. What do you mean iStock? Well, they mean this, a Getty photo. Now, when you look at what's Getty's purpose? I think Getty's purpose is to basically, obviously, make money. That's one of the things. But also control information, disinformation. Again, when we look to the system was just exposed yesterday, again, giving us disinformation and controlling information. This is what the system does. Now, okay, so we're supposed to, basically look at this and say, well, wait a minute, this is just something somebody created on AI with, some sort of app, and then not believe anything about this. This is what the system does. And many people will just look at that and say, oh, okay, that's all that is. And many people want to believe that because they believe in a fundamentalist point of view that's given to them by the mainstream religions. Yeah, at the same time, if these people did take the photo, I've seen tons of Getty photos of events, of, different things happening where, they end up claiming credit. And again, it's part of the disinformation campaign. It really is. And so, are these people just simply captivated with a Getty photo, or are they really trying to say, look, we saw some weird stuff like this shadow being out there? We've seen shadow beings. We've seen all sorts of beings with our own eyes. That's why, again, when we speak about these things, we seem so convinced, is because we're totally convinced. Not that this one photo is the be-all, end-all. And, again, if you discredit this photo, they want you to throw away the baby with the bathwater and discredit everything. And, at the same time, there was real terror in the people's faces with the Pelacabras situation, real terror. And there's real excitement here. So, again, the narrative is always being controlled by the control system. Yet, at the same time, people are catching on. Nearly 80% of Russians believe in aliens. Nearly 80%. The vast majority of people in Russia believe in extraterrestrial, ultra-terrestrial beings. That is higher than in the United States. Although the United States now, the majority does believe in extraterrestrial, ultra-terrestrial beings. And Russia has been more forthcoming. None of the world systems have been any good when you get down to it. But they have been a little more forthcoming on certain things, such as sharing information a little more openly with the public when it comes to extraterrestrial, ultra-terrestrial beings. Yeah, and some with technology too. Not excuse me there. Not that Russia has free energy either, because they don't. And ultimately, they're all part of one system that has been keeping humanity in the dark. And here you have Saturn Mystery Unlocked by JWST. Webb has spotted dark beads drifting in Saturn's upper atmosphere. Strange lopsided star patterns around the poles. What's really going on? Again, the ring makers of Saturn. Are the rings natural, or are they being manufactured? Has Saturn been taken over by a hostile extraterrestrial, ultra-terrestrial group of beings that use it to contain consciousness in certain frequencies? We know about this. This is very, very real. You have a six-pointed object there on the pole of Saturn. And the reality is, again, Saturn is a natural object, but there's also unnatural objects there.
Oh, yeah. Saturn carries such a unique energy and a very, very important energy. As much as it can be annoying, it can be life-saving because Saturn restricts movement. And sometimes, depending on where Saturn's placed in your chart, the degrees, what it's aspecting, maybe you shouldn't be going out for that car drive today, and that's why your tire ended up flat. That's why your car won't start. That's why your engine light's on and you need to take caution. So Saturn, even though it can be restrictive like the father and create boundaries, it's good for us. And what I've learned with these situations is, if you're stuck, you can't go anywhere, can't move forward, backwards, anywhere. Just make yourself as comfortable as you can in the time being. And when it's time, Saturn will release.
Yeah, and again, when you say it's good for us, you're talking about the natural energies of the planet, not the
Right.
dark matrix that's been in place that ultimately is not really even part of this natural matrix. It's actually bleeding in through a different reality, So again, there's so much more than meets the eye, and we'll go deeper into the mysteries of Saturn in upcoming videos. Our good friend Arwayne Steiger that we try to meet with every Thursday and have a show at noon Central Time with. He's done a lot of deep delving, I should say, into Saturn himself. And, when you look at it, there's a association of a black rock cube with Saturn as well. Lots of very, very curious, interesting things going on. And I wanted to share this with you. Declassified CIA documents recommend a meditation technique where you can visualize colors for full body rejuvenation. According to them, color blue has the ability to reduce inflammation, heal the body. Turns out all that woo-woo nonsense is real and incredibly powerful because you live in a matrix that's created by consciousness for consciousness. What appears to be real and solid is temporary, and it simply is, in some ways, a very realistic illusion. We are consciousness, and so there's nothing more powerful than consciousness. When you look to the effect on particles becoming waves and taking patterns on, it's all about consciousness noticing, having an idea, and creating and manifesting that idea. We could call this magic, but it is science. That's the ultimate science. This is all basic Qigong, Reiki, pranic healing. Yeah, absolutely. Light blue, sky blue is going to help to reduce inflammation, and it's all about the frequency that it gives. Each color is a different frequency. We have a whole series of videos on this over on Patreon. This is what we practice every day. We spend hours in this on a daily basis. Again, honing our abilities, honing our concentration. And this is why we do our meditation every single day and without fail. And we've also worked on people all over the world, every single continent, besides Antarctica, at this point anyway. And we have regular clientele from all over the world that we have helped. You can, again, check out evolutionaryenergyarts.com or reach us at evolutionaryenergyarts@gmail.com for more information. Although all the information's on every single video when you click the more information or just the little drop-down button. Yeah, this is the science of the new era, of the Bronze Age, is understanding the power of our consciousness itself. And again, light and sound, those are your great healers.
Light and sound are incredible. So when I got stuck on my own healing journey, I learned that sound can get you just a little bit further and a little bit further and a little bit further on your journey. When you change the frequency around you, you change the information that comes into your field, and many times that leads to the thing that you need to do to finally heal yourself.
Absolutely. As always, guys, look forward to your comments. Much love, source bless, and namaste.
Namaste.